This is the Mancunian Matters news bulletin at 2:30 p.m. I'm Thomas Brace. The Labour Party faced a significant rebellion in Parliament last night over the crisis in Gaza. 10 frontbenchers defied the party whip and quit the front bench in order to vote for an SNP motion calling on Israel to implement a ceasefire. Notably, those who rebelled included Jess Phillips, the now former Shadow Minister for Domestic Violence and Safeguarding. The SNP motion and a separate Labour motion backing a pause in the war in order to bring in humanitarian aid were both defeated by MPs. In spite of the resignations and the 56 Labour MPs who voted for the SNP motion, Shadow Defence Secretary John Healey insisted that Labour was still a united party. He added, when asked why Labour enforced the whip and didn't have a free vote on the amendment, that Labour was not, quote, a protest party. Labour leader Keir Starmer said that he regretted that some MPs had not voted with the party and spoke in defence of Labour's position. Starmer said, "Alongside leaders around the world, I have called throughout for adherence to international law, for humanitarian pauses to allow access for aid, food, water, utilities and medicine, and have expressed our concerns at the scale of civilian casualties." He added, "Leadership is about doing the right thing. That is the least the public deserves, and at least that the leadership demands." Manchester City Council is set to pay compensation worth more than £5,000 to a family housed in a, quote, uninhabitable home. The Housing Ombudsman, which looks at complaints about registered providers of social housing, found 3 findings of severe maladministration at the property in question in Wythenshawe. This included severe damp in 4 rooms and a rotten kitchen floor. The property was passed as ready to let, despite the council being aware of these problems with the property. Furthermore, the family was not given alternative accommodation by their landlord whilst the issues were taken care of, which included a roof leak which took 67 weeks to fix. The chief executive of the council apologised in person to the resident as well as providing the £5,000. The council was also told to calculate the costs of the works the resident overtook and then to reimburse them for the costs. 2 people were taken to hospital after a woman sprayed a stinging substance at them in Piccadilly Gardens. Police and ambulances descended onto the scene at around 10:30 p.m. last night. Police said a woman had sprayed an unknown substance on the 2 people as she passed them in the street. Tests from the liquid showed that it was not acid, though more tests will now be undertaken. No arrests have yet been made, and a Greater Manchester Police spokesperson said that both people are expected to make a full recovery. In sport, one of the most important games of the football season is set to take place this Saturday when Manchester City take on Liverpool. City and Liverpool are first and second in the league respectively and have often battled it out for the league title over the past half-decade, with Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool side being the only team to manage to break City's dominance in English football when they won the league in the 2019-2020 campaign. And in Manchester United news, Chief Executive Richard Arnold is set to leave the club after 16 years. This comes as Sir Jim Ratcliffe purchased a 25% minority stake in the club and seeks to radically transform the running of United, who have struggled since the retirement of their legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson. Arnold will provide transitional support until the end of December, and General Counsel Patrick Stewart will be the interim chief executive whilst the Old Trafford side finds a permanent replacement. The outgoing Arnold said, "It's been an incredible privilege to serve this great football club over the past 16 years. Through highs and lows, the constant has been the dedication of our employees and fans. I would like to thank all of them for their loyalty and commitment and wish everyone associated with the club the very best for the future." And finally, following the news that Nigel Farage is set to join the cast of the new season of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, there's been a mixed response online and across the public, with some viewing it negatively and others looking forward to having Nigel in the jungle. Mancunian Matters went and asked the people of Manchester what they thought about the former UKIP leader's latest endeavour.
I think that it will be great for creating discourse.
It kind of just says a lot about where politics and media, like TV, is in Britain at the minute, really, and that there's almost a bit of a crossover where politics is kind of come to some extent a bit of a reality TV show, where there's a bit of a soap opera element to politics now. What's the latest kind of crisis or drama?
I saw he was being paid £1.5 million for, which I think is pretty grim. It does give me the impression that they're kind of trying to do with him. Nigel Farage's PA team is PR team has been like, oh well, it worked for, was it Jeremy Hunt who went on? Matt Hancock. Yeah, it worked for him. That actually gained him a lot of public sympathy.
I think it's shameful. It says something shameful about our society if people do watch it and just sort of disregard his behaviours and views for entertainment purposes.
I think that's somebody who is as divisive and controversial a figure as him can be paid a boatload of money to go on and be kind of go through this redemption in the eyes of the public is, you know, a bit kind of, again, it's a bit sad.
This has been the Mancunian Matters News Bulletin with Thomas Brace.